great to see so many of you here today, and I want to pay special tribute to our friends from Shpresa, who put on such a fantastic show, and they've been long-standing supporters of the End Child Detention Now campaign, holding vigils in the middle of winter, taking Paddington Bear to Downing Street while they're literally freezing, waiting outside for an audience, so it's good to see them in the summer sun performing, but also to remind all of us that these are children who have actually faced detention. They know the reality of what it means to be incarcerated in what is in effect a prison, and the long-term psychological damage that can do to children and families. End Child Detention Now began as a campaign actually about a year ago to free a young 2-year-old Kurdish boy who had been separated from his mother for 3 days. He was transported in a locked prison van over 200 miles to the notorious Yarlswood Detention Centre you've heard so much about. All our friends from SOAS have been campaigning on behalf of those who've been incarcerated there. It's no surprise that women go on hunger strike. It's no surprise that people try and end their lives there. It is a brutal concentration camp. It is run by one of the most vicious government outfits, the UKBA, and as Emma said, it is deeply depressing that the chief apologist for that operation, Dave Wood, is to be in charge of this review. Frankly, it's like putting Herod in charge of a creche, and we have to be very vigilant, as Emma said, that we do not allow a kind of Stockholm syndrome to rapidly spread throughout the whole of this coalition government, and that they suddenly think that actually locking up kids like we've seen perform today is a really good idea, because we need to have tough borders and we need to be tough on asylum seekers. Dave would have said, we do not detain because family absconds. There is little risk of absconding, so all this nonsense about tags, about control orders is a complete red herring. There is where are they going to run to? Destitute families with kids in school with severe medical problems have got nowhere to run to, nowhere to hide. They lock them up to stop other people applying for asylum. That's why they lock them up, and that's why we've got to challenge them. So we say this policy of locking up families has to end. It has to end now, and it has to end not just because a few politicians behind locked doors say it's got to end, but because all of you here, the thousands of people that have signed petitions, have joined in vigils, have written to their MPs, have written to the press. The public campaign needs to continue, because that is why the Liberal Democrats put this at the top of their list of priorities, because of the public pressure. We have to keep this in the public profile, because if we don't, they're going to try and hide it under the carpet, and they're going to try and bring back all the kind of nasty crap they've been getting away with for years. Emma's absolutely right. We've seen the Australians do it, we've seen it happen in Belgium, we've seen it happen in Canada. There is absolutely no, as I said, need to do this to families. We can treat people humanely. We can, more importantly, give them a fair hearing, because the reason why so many people are in this situation is because they cannot get any legal representation. And our colleague from Refugee and Migrant Justice made a very good point. Another way that they try and effectively deny people justice is by denying them access to decent legal representation. Most of these people, when they get a decent lawyer, actually find that their cases are upheld. 55% of kids that were held in Yarlswood this year were actually released. They shouldn't have been there in the first place, okay? So it just goes to show that the whole thing is a sham and a mess, but it's been deliberately created in order to deny the fundamental human rights of people who we owe a duty of sanctuary to under international conventions, okay? It's not just a moral duty, it's a legal duty, and the last government, and I'm afraid to say even this government, appear to be reneging on it. We must hold them to account. We must end child detention now. We won't stop till it stops.